Ready?
Ready.
Sure.
Yes.
Okay, guys,
Woo!
we are back,
Back.
and we're doing things a little bit different this time.
Different this time.
So we're gonna have, well, you guys will see as we go through the podcast. We're gonna have segments. We're gonna talk about good stuff. We're gonna talk about some rants. We're gonna do all the crazy stuff.
We just wanted to bring something of a little bit higher value than we were already bringing. And trust me, I do think what we were bringing before was high value, but we just wanted to bring something that was a little bit more watchable, is the word?
Watchable, and I guess easier
Enjoyable.
to enjoyable,
Digestible.
easier to follow.
Maybe that too.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
But anyways, we've been away for a while. For those who watched my reel about us coming back, we are back. And I did mention on there that my beautiful wife, Carrie, does have some news to share with you guys as she is embarking on this new journey of hers, which I'm excited for.
New
and
journey.
Also proud of her for. Yeah, go ahead and
Proud of me.
go ahead. Can you stop repeating everything that I'm saying?
No.
Go ahead and share.
All right. So some of you might know I've been a server bartender for 15 years. And I don't know, sometime earlier this year, I decided I just don't want to do that anymore. I enjoy it. Don't get me wrong. I enjoy it. But I just have been thinking about what the future looks like. And, I have an amazing husband who has built this business on the front end. And also, some of you might know that I've been on the back end of the business in some ways, in different capacities, helped with the website at one point.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I just want to dive into what he's built, into what we've built. And I made the choice that I was going to join the business as a coach. So I am currently working through everything that I need to become official. I don't feel comfortable taking clients until I'm official. It's just the type of person that I am. But when everything is good to go and sealed, neat with a little bow, I will let everybody know that I can take clients. I'm mostly looking to help women. I'm looking to help women that
I was
not
going to ask
only
you that
want.
too.
What was
I
that?
was going to ask you like who you would want to
Oh,
work
I
with.
want to work with women. I want to work with women that are probably my age or a little bit younger, though I'm not closed off to any woman. I would like to help with not only physical health, but with mental health, with overall wellness. Maybe we look at areas in your life where you're just not happy. I'm interested in habit coaching and helping you go from point A to point B in a way that makes sense, that doesn't have a bunch of loops and a bunch of curly cues in it,
Yeah.
So that in a nutshell is what I am interested in.
Do you think your skills that you've learned from serving will carry over pretty well into doing this?
I think that anybody learns soft skills in serving, in retail.
Soft skills. Yeah.
Soft skills are so important. And there are so many customer and client based jobs where you learn so many soft skills that I'm sorry, you just don't learn in a classroom.
No, no, I 100% agree with you. I feel like you have to be able to, at least to really help someone, you got to be able to connect with them, talk to them.
And that's a big part of what you do. I
Yeah.
mean, how awful would your training be if you couldn't talk to people or connect with them
Yeah,
while
it'd be
they're already
awkward.
doing something that's not necessarily enjoyable,
Especially like in
depending on the
person.
day?
Like online, it's a little bit different because I guess it's easier to have a conversation with someone through text or through some type of app where you're just chatting with them. But the in person, unless the person just does not have like a personality and it's just hard to get them to talk for the most part, it's just a matter of just having a conversation and just connecting with the person,
Yep, soft
building that
skills are so
trust. The
important.
soft skills are like so important. So like if you're
I can't
watching
think of a
this,
job where soft skills aren't important.
they're
Even like bedside manner for
everywhere. They're
doctors and,
important
and
freaking
healthcare.
any job out there, like any job out there. If you're
For
soft,
the most part, like 99%. Maybe not the guy that's like working off the dock in the middle of the ocean.
well, yeah, that's different. Out in isolation.
Yeah, but you are right. For them, almost every single job.
Yeah. So part of what we're doing now with the structure of the podcast is we're going to be breaking it down into segments just to have it a little bit more compartmentalized. And our first segment is going to be on a positive note, and we like to call this segment
Good day for good news.
So Carrie's going to go ahead and read a good news story. I have no idea what it is. She picked it out, told me that she wasn't going to say anything about it until we did this. So
I wanted his reaction.
I'm going to be getting a firsthand reaction just like you guys are for hearing this for the first time. So Carrie, with that being said,
All right, so it's a good day for good news. And with this segment, my major goal is we're not going to do anything that has to do with major world news.
Yeah, speak
Just
up.
just local, good, heartfelt. I don't know. It's just nice to hear good things. So,
Yeah.
anyways, with that being said, a wallet was lost by a Ford employee 10 years ago and just turned up 150,000 miles later under a car hood.
With everything in it still?
Girl, just wait. So, yes, this was found. This charming story comes via Minnesota, where a mechanic was replacing the cooling fan on a 2015 Ford Edge, and there was something kind of in the way.
Hmm.
Guess what was in the way?
The wallet.
The wallet. The wallet. Inside, he found the license, $15,000
Whoa.
cash,
Huh.
a faded lottery ticket, $275 in gift cards,
Damn.
and the employee's ID showing that no matter how long
Yo,
you
who
work.
carries $15,000 of cash on them like that?
Isn't that crazy? I
How
don't
big that wallet
know.
was.
Blue collar people do that too.
That's a big one.
Anyways, so this was written by Andy Corbley on August 17th, 2025. Very important to give people the credit where credit is due. And this is from goodnewsnetwork.org, which we will probably share more stories because I very much enjoyed scrolling through looking for something today. But isn't that crazy? $15,000. Thank God that the all of the IDs, and well, I guess an ID would be in the wallet, but anyways, thank God that they were able to find the guy.
Good. Thank God for this good Samaritan, because like, let's be real here. Like, how many?
$15,000.
$15,000.
That's an elementary school thing that we're all presented with in elementary school. Like,
Do you
what
do
would
the
you
right
do if you
thing?
were late to work and an animal was on the side of the road? What would you do if you found $15,000 in a wallet?
I would try to return it,
Yeah.
and to do the proper procedure. I guess take it to the police, whatever. Try to track down who the owner is, and if they can't find out who it is, then finders keepers, right?
I do think that's technically how it works. I don't know. I've never found something and
So the person got their wallet back. Was there anything else afterwards, or was it just they got their wallet back and
got
this
the
guy?
wallet back. Yeah, that was the feel good. That's
Wow.
yeah.
Guys, if you find $15,000 out there in a wallet, please return it.
If you can.
But yeah, that's really cool. That's that's really cool. I don't know what I would
There's just a special type of person that would give that back. And that's what makes it a good day for good news.
yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. So again, we are trying to compartmentalize segments, yada, yada, yada. So the main topic of today is building healthy habits as a couple. Now, this is a really good topic because I'm a firm believer that your environment plays, and she is as well too, that your environment plays a big role in your success when it comes to changing any behaviors or any habits that you are trying to work on. So if you have your spouse on board and are open to doing it with you, it makes it so much easier for you to do. What are your thoughts on that?
I'm just sitting here thinking about all the times that we weren't on the same page
Give some examples.
and
We
how
can-
awful that was.
yeah. Oh my God, we could probably sit here all day and
Let's not turn this into a fight. No, I'm kidding. No,
when the camera goes off.
we just weren't on the same page. We were in different places for many years. And honestly, we still kind of are in different places, but I
Yeah.
think that we've managed to have respect for the other person
But that was
and
a work
understanding
in
for what
progress
they're going.
thing.
No, yeah, it was definitely like just respect for the other person, and it is a work in progress, and um, understanding that you can be in a different place as somebody else and still be supportive and supported. Does that make
What does that look like for you? Like, what does that type of support?
Well, instead of necessarily what that type of support looks like for me, I
Mhm.
guess going back to your original question, just kind of like what did that look like not being on the same page? It looked like a lot of frustration in our home. It looked like I felt like I was vulnerable and not supported, and you probably felt the same way about different issues, like when you were losing weight in the first year or two of our relationship. I was not, it's not that I wasn't on board with it, I wasn't upset with you or trying to hold you back from losing weight, but I was not, one, having healthy habits for myself, but two, having any sort of healthy habit that supported you and what you were trying to do. I was bringing home a lot and only processed food for
Chili's.
dinners,
Yeah.
you know? And at the time I was at we'll call it Peppers. I was at Peppers as a server and bringing home that food, and it wasn't in moderation. It was every single night for lunch and sometimes for dinner, and it just wasn't a good environment. Not only was I not supportive of you in like what I was bringing home or what I was, and it's not that it was my responsibility to bring home healthy food for you,
No, not at
but
all.
in a relationship, I just wasn't, get what I'm trying to say, right?
Yeah, you weren't at the time, you weren't doing the things
And I wasn't
to help
emotionally
make it easier
supportive.
for me to continue to lose weight, to work on my goals.
And I think at that same time, I was going through some major life changes and dealing with the beginning stages of my father's overdose and all of that. And I wasn't exhibiting healthy habits.
Well,
And you didn't have the tools at the time, like, like the emotional tools,
oh no, heck no. I was,
you
yeah.
know? So I just think that in different ways, we loved each other, but we were not supporting each other and we were in very different periods of our lives.
I feel like, yeah, because I started working on the weight loss when we were here, and then we moved into the apartment when you started the business that you started with your friends. And
And I mean,
I
that
mean,
took
that added more to your plate. So then you're doing that. We got rent to pay,
add alcohol.
alcohol. We
We
were
were both
drinking a lot.
drinking at the time.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I just, we were two people that loved each other and wanted to support each other, but maybe didn't have all the tools to know how. And there are so many different ways to support somebody that we've learned over the years.
One of the biggest things I learned going through this journey and the, I guess the issues that we ran into is like you can't change someone. You can't force someone to change. You can't like want it more than them. And
Smoking cigarettes is such a wonderful example in our relationship of that.
did I try to get you to change? What?
Oh, yeah. So I'm a former smoker. And when Skylar and I met, I was probably close to the heaviest into the habit. I was almost, depending on the day, depending on the social structure of the day, smoking a pack and a half a day, a pack a day. Sometimes it was a lot. And Skylar made an initial boundary with me. I was DDing you home and you had said, I really don't like that. And for probably what 2 or 3 years in our relationship, I smoked but away from you. And then it got to the point where you had asked me to quit and I just didn't have
You weren't
we'll
there yet.
call it the tool. Not that I wasn't there yet. I didn't have the tools to tell you that I wasn't there yet.
Yeah.
So I was just like, "Oh, okay, you got it." And a lie of omission is really serious in a relationship. And that's what I did to you, and you were under the impression that I had quit for what, like a year or 2
Yeah. I thought she had
before I
quit.
did.
Yeah.
And I just
She's really good at hiding it.
it was very difficult for me to let go of. That doesn't make it right, but I did. I hid it from you and it's disgusting. Looking, not only is smoking not a great habit, but like hiding something from your partner is just it's not good. It didn't feel good for him, and looking back on it now, it's not something that I'm proud of. So I hid smoking from him, and it's not a funny story, but now looking back, it's like, oh, life's funny. So he had encouraged me to quit smoking. He also encouraged me to get into therapy. Do you remember this now?
Yes.
And
Yeah.
I didn't think it was a day. I didn't think he was coming home. I had therapy. He had told me, I'm going to actually physically drive you to this therapy appointment and I'm going to sit with you. And he did. He followed through on that promise. But I I had like an hour before he was supposed to be home. And we have this like little deck off of our balcony, off of our bedroom fire escape thing. And I was standing on that smoking a cigarette and he came home. And I mean, it was like face to face like this. No denying it. And it was that I had told him that I had quit and we lived in that reality for 1 to 2 years. It was about that. And he still took me to the therapy appointment and I still smoked after
You
that.
sure did.
I did for like 2 more years. And it's now been a little over 5 years since I've had my last cigarette. I am so proud of myself. When I say my last cigarette, I really mean like not even a drag. And there have been so many times, especially in the beginning of quitting that first year or two. Oh my God, we would get into a fight and it was like all I could think about. But, and I gained that weight that people gain
Well, yeah.
after smoking. And yeah, I gained 40 pounds. I've lost 25 now. But anyway, so that's a story about a time that I wasn't very respectful.
So I
Me.
wouldn't say you weren't. I wouldn't use that word.
I just didn't have the tools.
You didn't have the tools. You were there, but you weren't there. And like, don't get me wrong. Like, I wasn't a saint in this. Imagine you. I know you remember the fights we got into with me trying to push you to, get into working out with me more and getting, trying to get you to eat better with me. And
You did what you could at the time, and what you could do at the time was gym bro. And I love that face for you.
no excuses. Get in the
No
gym.
excuses. If you
Get
don't
your
want,
ass in the
if you
gym.
don't want to be fat, then don't be fat.
I didn't say it like that, but
No, he didn't say it like
the
that.
actions probably weren't too far from the words though, with how I handle that.
No, but long story short, it was a way that we built a healthy habit as a couple. It just took
Well,
a
we
while.
did that by just communicating and having the tough talks and being okay with not being comfortable having these talks and really just I don't know. You can only do so much, right? You can't, like I said, you can't force someone to do the things that you would want them to do. You can lead a horse to water, you can't make it drink it, blah 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 blah. I'm a firm believer, over time to just lead by example. Continue living this lifestyle, continue making these changes, continue bettering yourself, and hopefully, your partner, your spouse, whatever the case may be, is someone who wants to be better, who wants to grow, and when they're ready, like you were at some point, they'll come along and join you on that journey instead of forcing them to do that. Because when I tried to do that, and I'm sure on both ends, it was building resentment. I was resenting her because I didn't understand, like, I'm feeling so much better. I have all this energy, like I look good, I feel good. Why the hell is she not joining me on this? And that would be on my mind. And then if something popped up or something, we got into a disagreement or whatever, that would come out, even though I didn't say that to her, that would come out in some other way, whether it be my tone or whatever the case may be. And that lasted for some time.
Yeah, it was a rough period.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know. I think that I have a question for you, but before I get to that question, I think that over the years in building, a sustainable relationship and building healthy habits together, that we were both willing to grow in areas where we were lacking. And I think that's the most
It's that growth mindset.
important.
It's
Yeah.
not being stuck in this is who I am and deal with it. It's more so like, this is who I am now.
And how can
How
I
can I?
acknowledge this,
Yeah.
and I'd like to move past this version of myself. Yes, I think we're both willing to do that work. When we began to get on a better page
Mm,
as a couple,
mhm.
what were some different things that you can remember I did that made you feel like we were building habits together as a couple rather than I was watching you or you were watching me?
I don't know. I guess it was just the small things, like you showing interest in like improving these things that you wanted to improve about yourself, and showing more interest and being more open, to, I guess, any thoughts or feedback that I had.
How about habits inside the home? Maybe not so much a willingness, but more like physical things. What are things that
uh,
happened between us that made it more enjoyable or simpler to go to the gym or to take a walk? Or I don't want to lead the question too much, but
no, I guess I guess I guess just meeting you where you were and not trying to force anything on you, leaving the decision on you on whether or not we went for a walk, or we worked out, or we meal prepped, whatever the case may be, you know, instead of trying to force you to do it, just offering my hand, being like, hey, I'm gonna go do this. you're more than welcome to join me, and leaving that choice for you to make on whether or not you wanted to join me on a walk or join me in a workout or join me in meal prepping and eating better or getting more sleep and all the things that we did, to improve our at home life.
What about things like I'm looking for maybe more like actions like when going to the grocery store, making sure to buy healthier options, like learning about that kind of stuff.
Oh, okay. You talking about like doing like the whole 30 and things like that, or
Perhaps just things over time, like I'm not talking about like a will, like we've definitely heard about the willingness now a few times.
Mhm.
I mean like to give people ideas, like cuz you can be willing until the cows come home, but like what are actual things that happened in our home that we were more supportive of each other. I'll give an example. Bringing home healthier foods rather than bringing home those processed foods that we talked about in that first year or two of our relationship.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's a good starting point. Bringing home healthier foods to cook. I'm really trying to think what else we did because there was a lot that we did I can't really pinpoint on.
For me, I think some of the things that made working together more enjoyable was for you and I to both kind of key in a little bit more on physical exercise that I enjoy. We didn't know when this started that I really like doing like the obstacles and obstacle course
Oh, the
races.
OCRs.
So you supported me by taking me over to the school, and instead of just going to the gym and like lifting weights, that's not my favorite thing. We'll leave that at that. So anyway, I just enjoy other ways to work out, but I understand that weightlifting is like, the strength
And I
training
guess
is
I guess that
important.
kind of I mean, I guess that kind of falls back to, and I know you gave like an example of like an action that I took, but I guess that kind of falls back to as well. It's just meeting you where you were, right? Like,
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely meeting me where I was, that just made the process more enjoyable. And then like just little things in the home, like I've noticed that our sleep hygiene has gotten a lot better. We have a better bedtime.
mm-hmm.
We have better bed habits. We cook more mindfully.
Yes.
We try to look at information that's coming in for us, and like for example, we switched out from cooking with olive oil to cooking with avocado
Avocado
oil,
oil. Yeah.
but that doesn't mean you demonize olive oil, you just use it differently.
hmm
So I think that there's a lot of habit-based things that we've done to support each other,
Yeah.
and that other couples listening to this could use to support each other.
Yeah, and just making those small changes. Maybe you guys, I don't know, drink water together. I know it's dumb or it sounds dumb.
That was
Like,
a phase that we went through.
yeah,
I had to get off of teas and sodas, and you got a Soda Stream. We
we
don't
did a
drink
soda
sparkling
stream.
water like that
We did
anymore.
bubbly for a bit.
Yeah, for like probably 2 or 3
So
years
like we just made small changes, small incremental changes, pretty
over
much over
time.
time, and just we would do something we would make a change, we would do it for a while, and then okay, here's a better way to do it, and then we would just do it the better way. And I guess we follow that trend for quite some time now, where it's been so long. It honestly it seems so foreign to me now that we just are not on the same page when it comes to having these better habits as a couple.
Yeah, habits, and just I think we're on the same page with how we look at things, our emotional regulation,
Our emotional
our
intelligence has
emotional
skyrocketed.
intelligence.
Yeah.
So I just think that we've gotten on the same page. But speaking of emotional intelligence, are you ready for our next
Oh
segment?
my gosh, what is it?
So our next segment actually has nothing to do with emotional intelligence. It just felt like a good point. Psych. No, our
You're
next
popping me
segment,
off.
but it's fun. Our next segment is kind of the opposite of Good Day for Good News. It is just an opportunity for myself or for Skylar or for both of us to just be
You go
like,
first.
honestly, just hear me out. Do
You
you know
go,
what my just hear me out
you go
is?
first.
Since we talked about my being in the restaurant industry
What?
and wanting to switch over,
What? Let it out, girl.
I just drew a blank because there's so, you know what? Okay, this is my hear me out. If you work DoorDash, okay, if you work DoorDash, you still have to have some common sense, right? So when you walk through the door of a restaurant
What's that?
and there's 25 feet to go until until you're at an employee standing at the door and going, DoorDash. It's not going to help you get your stuff any quicker. Knock it off. Stop doing that. I don't even get tipped to help you.
Tell us how you really feel.
I've yelled at DoorDashers in the middle of a packed restaurant before because anyways, what's your hear me out?
Mine's going to be gym related. And I'm sure a lot of you guys who are in the gym a lot will completely understand where I'm coming from when I say, screw you people who stand in front of the freaking dumbbell rack to do your bicep curls or any other exercise where you're standing in front of the dumbbell rack and you're taking up space and you won't freaking move. A couple months ago, actually, it wasn't even a couple months ago. It was like last month, I think. I was at Crunch. I was working out.
Oh, we saw the Facebook post.
Oh, so you know where I'm going at with this. So, like, this dude,
This is such a classic thing.
standing in front of the dumbbell, and I've seen this guy before. He thinks his shit don't stink. It does. He's one of those ego lifters, blah, 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 blah. Anyways, he's in front of the dumbbell rack. He's curling away, you know, probably feeling good about himself, taking this nice little time. And he sees me walk up because I'm trying to get the weight that's right in front of him, and he doesn't move. So, me having enough of the bullshit at that point, then I just stared. I'd standed there. I stood there, not standing there. I stood there and just me mugged him until he moved. But it's like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, why do that? Why take up space? You don't own it. It's like driving on a highway, right? And you got the person in the left lane that's driving slower than the people in the right lane, and they will not move over because they feel like they are entitled to that lane. That's what it feels like. It feels like they are entitled to that space. They don't want you taking it. They want everyone to look at them while they're working out. And it's like, bro, like no one gives a shit. Like, get your weight and move out of the way so other people can get by and get their weight or put their weight back without hurting themselves or hurting you, whatever the case may be. As you guys can tell, this is something that bothers me a lot. I can go on about other gym stuff that I see. Like we'll save it for next episode.
So anyways, I think that I just made an executive decision that I most likely am Good Day for Good News host, and this guy is going to be the Hear Me Out host because this was quite a reaction. So
I've just been holding it in.
we can tell. We can tell. No, this is going to be good for you.
Joey Swole, if you see this, you call out these people more. Call out these people with bad gym etiquette.
Every week you're going to have an opportunity to just let it out. But anyways, I think it's time to wrap this up, to say goodbye. Yeah,
Aww.
I know. We're trying to keep these somewhat short.
I like hearing you talk.
Shorter.
You have such a great talking voice.
So nice of you. Well, you can come visit me at Toastmasters. Short plug.
Yeah, I'll come support you in that.
You came to the baseball game.
Yeah.
And you came.
And I came to the school one.
You came to the school one.
Where I did a random table topics.
Honestly, it's good to support your partner in the things that they do.
Yeah.
And it's also important to do your own thing and not depend on your partner to necessarily hold your hand the whole way through it.
No, and I'm proud of you for even joining that, because I know that was something that was out of your comfort zone.
Yeah, joining it was out. Well, it's funny because the podcast is what led somebody to approach me and say, hey, you should join this. And I've been it now for a year and a half, and I am my club's vice president education. They really trusted me. And as Skylar had mentioned at the beginning of the podcast, that we have a lot going on. Yeah. I'm not even going to get into that, but it was a crazy time for me to accept that nomination.
Maybe another episode.
But we're doing it. VP Education. Anyways, we need to say goodbye.
I don't want to, though.
We have to.
Okay. So I should have said this in the beginning of the episode. If you're new to the channel, make sure you follow and subscribe. If you are not new to the channel and you're tuning back in, please share this. We appreciate you guys so much. Episodes will be coming out weekly.
And we're really looking forward to it.
I'm thinking Wednesday.
We'll see.
We'll let you guys know.
Yeah, we'll let you know.
But anyways, thank you so much for watching. And as always, let's
Mosley.